Hi Gary, I'm Carol Fallender.
Hey, Carol.
I live on Kew Road, and like some others here, I moved back to Cleveland Heights 5 years ago. I'm going to ask you first of all about collaboration. There are limits to what city government can do by itself. Cleveland Heights has a wonderful history of community groups identifying problems and initiating projects to address them. First of all, please talk about your views of collaboration and any additional ways you would like to see the city work with all segments of our community, from individuals to neighborhood groups, nonprofits, and businesses, to strengthen our city.
Well, as an organizer, collaboration is sort of a middle name. Conflict is the other middle name. They often go together, but what we need to do is build the kind of unity inside the city around a vision that people can get behind. And that would involve talking to all the churches, this group, any other community group that's out there, and involving them in the planning process from day one. And saying, we want to know, what is it you want done that you don't see being done? What is it you see being done that you like? And just start developing that database. One of the senses I have is that well, especially on that income tax thing, I did not feel like they had checked out with the people in the community what they wanted. And that may just be a subjective feeling I have. I don't know what they actually did to get to their decision, but I think it was pretty clear people didn't want to pay more income tax in the end. So we need to do something up front. It could be that in that process of visioning and talking to groups, that it'll come out that people are willing to pay a little more in order to keep the city at a sustainable level short term, and then I would be behind it. But I think that collaboration piece is the most important piece inside the borders of this city. That we need to make sure people are on the same page, that if we want to do something in regionalism, for instance, people have to understand what we're doing, why it's good, and how it'll help. And you don't get that without reaching out and talking to people. Another piece of that, though, is it's hard to collaborate when your city government's not transparent. And when people want to move in here, one of the things they do is they go to the city website and they look at things like tax rates, and they try to figure out what the city government's like and what the burden's going to be on them. It's really hard to tell where the income comes from, just by looking on the city website. I asked for a copy of the budget. I got a 2-page ordinance that talked about cuts they were making in very broad categories. I don't think there's anything bad going on, because the audit I saw that is on the website from 2007 was clean. I mean, it's clear they're doing the finances right. It's not clear what the priorities are or why they're spending money in certain areas. A couple of you guys mentioned the housing issues. There's a lot of money going into police, fire, and garbage collection, and that is as it should be. But from listening here, it sounds like housing is a big issue. I'm not sure where that is in the budget, what priority it is, but it clearly should be up there based on what I'm hearing here tonight anyway. And that's the kind of thing, information you pick up when you actually listen. And part of listening is you have to, I mean, if I say I'm spending $100 on police and it's not accurate, or you can't tell where the money's coming from, you might say, well, that's wonderful. But if I say I'm spending $100 on police and you're paying the $100 yourself, that's a whole different piece. And it's very hard to tell from this city's website and the policies they seem to have on publishing financial budgets. The last 2 years, the budget hasn't been done until 6 months into the year. It's supposed to be up front. And that kind of thing needs to happen too, I think, in order to have true collaboration. We need the transparency.
We're going to move you through 2 questions in 5 minutes. All right?
Okay, so talk faster?
Yeah. I'll give you this one quick. and
Yes
then-
or no?
This one is on social community inclusion, maybe similar to some other things. We are a community that's proud of its diversity and our tradition of inclusion. How do you see these issues and where can we improve?
It may sound like I'm sucking up a little here, but I think this is the best inclusive community I've lived in. That's one of the things that attracted me here. So I really haven't thought about what could be done better, I guess. It's pretty good as is.
I can't help but ask, and how did you assess that?
I have lived in Southeast Michigan, worked in Southeast Michigan with the Gamaliel Foundation groups in a lot of places through their leadership trainings. And most, especially big cities in the north, are heavily segregated, both racially and ethnically. And in fact, disease-wise. If you look at statistics from Cleveland, Detroit, and other big cities, what you find is there's ghettos of sick people, actually. And it's, this is a good mix of housing. You know, it's not like there's a lot of mansions. There's a lot of different kinds of housing. It's a good mix of business. It's just a good mix. Sorry, too long?
No,
I
it's
think you're gonna be okay.
I'm sorry.
I thought I was hearing the hook over here.
No, we're pretty close. Environmental sustainability. Oh, my name's Robin Caslin and I live on Wood Road. I'm doing my part really first. Environmental sustainability is a critical need and 21st century priority. Increasingly, green initiatives are not only fundamental, but promise to create excitement and generate economic development for individuals and communities. What role should city government have in fostering environmental sustainability and eco-friendly lifestyles?
Well, I think we should do whatever the city can. I mean, I like the recycling program. I would like to see something going on in terms of job training for people in environmentally friendly jobs, whether it's shedding light on the subject here. I'm a member of Trinity, and we're environmentally sustained buildings. I mean, that's a big piece of what we do, and I think the city could do some things with housing again that has to do with environmental stability, sustainability, whether it's simple weatherization or changing the light bulbs. You know, one of the groups I worked with, I forget which church it was now, but they asked each church to change from the regular incandescent bulb to the long-term ones. And I forget how much money it saved. That was a big motivation for them, but it also is environmentally more sustainable. Wasn't this church, I guess. These are fluorescent.
They're
fluorescent.
They're old fluorescent.
Yeah, so there's a role there, and I know they just had. What I'd like to see more than anything on that issue is Cleveland Heights somehow hook up with Cleveland, which is doing a sustainability project for itself, and really make a big impact, and try to connect that to more regionalism. We can do some things on our own, but I think on a regional basis, it's probably going to have a much bigger impact and stabilize. The sustainability word is a good one to me. I use it for health insurance reform and for neighborhood work, because, you know, if you do something simple to make things better, that's good. But if the next day somebody comes in and writes graffiti on your new clean wall, you got to start all over again anyway. So we really do need to do some work on the environmental sustainability issue, and I'd like to see it happen with Cleveland. I think I'm flipping into a regional issue a little bit here, but there's 2 or 3 different kinds of regionalism, and one is supporting the big city that everybody's living off of in some ways. And I'm not seeing a lot of that out of Cleveland Heights, and I would like that to change. I think this is one of the areas that could change pretty easily.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. We really
Thanks for having
appreciate you
me.
coming out.
You guys are brave sitting here through 4 hours of
It was very
in the
nice.
heat.
I know.
Thank you.